And we are live. Hello, beautiful people. Let me just give me a sec to just double check that we are definitely live. Hello, hello. Hello to everybody who is here live. Welcome to today's broadcast. Yes. Yes, we are live. Let me put that on airplane mode. Hey, okay. Welcome to today's Tap and Talk. Today, we are talking about how wealth is an inside job. It is the product of your identity, your beliefs, and the actions that you take. So, what we do during these live Tap and Talks, let me just pop this up here. So that is my little reference point. So what we do during these live tap and talks is we tap, of course. This is EFT tapping, if you are unfamiliar with this. And a big part of the point of these lives that I started doing is to get you doing more tapping. Because I know that a lot of people know about EFT tapping and they know the benefits of EFT tapping, but they don't necessarily do it. So I am inviting you, even while I'm just talking, to just tap. Now, if you don't want to tap on your face and your body the whole time, you can do this, which is just tapping on the cuticles. You can do this anywhere at any time. If you are feeling nervous, it just feels a bit like a little nervous habit that you might have, and it looks like that to people. People aren't going to take any notice of you tapping on your fingers. So you can tap anywhere, anytime, for anything, and I encourage you to do more and more and more tapping in your life, because it literally has the effect of calming down the central nervous system. And even if you're not tapping on something specific, it is still working on the background, on the unconscious and subconscious limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, the things that are just running in the background that are stopping you from being the best and most powerful version of you and achieving the life that you desire. So let's dive into wealth being an inside job. So if you want to achieve more wealth, more freedom, then you need to change your relationship with money, and you need to change your relationship with wealth. Because your identity is what determines just about everything. Yes, it's mindset. And a big part of mindset and a big part of your belief system is your beliefs about who you are. Because you will always act in a way that is congruent with who you believe you are, unless somebody has put you into some kind of a trance and has programmed you to be and do something else. But when we are naturally going through our day, we are thinking thoughts that are in alignment with who we believe we are. We are listening to information that is in alignment with who we believe we are and what we say our values are. So it's our values, it's our core beliefs, it's the experiences that we've had that determine our behavior. Now, if you have beliefs around money that say that money is the root of all evil and there's not enough money, and if I have more money, other people will have less, and people who have money are bad people, and if you have those kind of beliefs, then having money is actually goes against who you believe you are. Now, let me ask you, if you don't have the kind of money that you want, why not? Why are you at war with money? What did money ever do to you? Like money itself. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about money. You know, there's a saying about weapons and firearms, is that it's not the firearm that's the problem. It's the person who's holding the firearm that's the problem. And this is very true. So if you are demonizing money, why? And how's that working out for you? And you may not even know that you've demonized money. Yes, sorry, just checking my microphone. You may not even know that you've demonized money. But if you are pushing money away, why? If you are rejecting wealth, why? And money is agency. Money is just a tool to be able to amplify your impact in the world. Work with me here. How? If you have more money, if you want to do good things in the world and you have more money, how is that not going to help you do good things in the world? You're the kind of person who is kind and has empathy and wants good things for people and wants to make a difference in the world. How is it that you suddenly believe that if you get more money, you're going to be demonic and satanic? How does that work? I do not understand. And yet this is the kind of thing that our subconscious mind latches onto. It doesn't necessarily make sense because this body of beliefs that we have built up have been constructed as a consequence of what we've been exposed to, right? So if we were exposed to lots of information and media, which unfortunately has sort of happened deliberately, this is why so many of us are conditioned to believe that rich people are evil and that money's the problem. Money's not the problem. There are some evil rich people out there. Yeah, I get it. And there are some rich people who are doing bad things in the world, but not every single rich person. See, the thing is, it's all about context. And if you believe that rich people are evil, every single rich person you see, you will run through that filter. You will see their actions as evil. You will even perceive things that aren't there, that didn't happen, to reinforce that belief that rich people are evil. Do you realize that rich people are the ones who employ or generate much of the employment in the world and give people jobs? They also help to create and fund really good causes in the world. So an example is we have this woman called Gina Reinhardt in Australia, and she's demonized by a lot of people. And particularly recently, she has supported our uprising star, Pauline Hanson of One Nation, the popular candidate here in Australia in politics. And I just looked her up this morning. And do you know that Gina Reinhardt, the richest woman in Australia, and perhaps the richest person in Australia now, I think, I'm not sure, but she has actually donated $80 million to women's sports since 2012. Now, I'm all for that. I don't know about you, but I think that's a good thing. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that she's done. None of us can agree with everything anybody does. But if you're demonizing money and you're demonizing rich people, then this is going to be a very big issue for you in generating wealth, in becoming wealthy. So I'm going to ask you right now, where in your life and in your subconscious have you demonized money? Now, you may say to yourself, I haven't demonized money at all. I'm going to ask you to look a little deeper. Where have you demonized money? Why are you afraid to have wealth? These are important questions I'm asking you to answer. Why are you afraid to generate wealth? Why are you rejecting wealth? Why are you rejecting money? Why? And is that supporting you in amplifying your impact, in helping the world be a better place, in spreading your brilliance, the good that you're here to do in the world? Because wealth is not a result. It's not just, it is a result, but it's a result of your being, your state. Wealth is who you are. Wealth is how you show up. Wealth is how you behave. Wealth is how you think. Wealth is what you believe. Wealth is a consequence of all of those things. So if you're not generating wealth, then What is your identity saying about money? What is your and money and you? What is your identity saying about wealth that you are rejecting it? And where did that come from? What is the belief that supports that identity? Because it is your identity that generates your behavior, and it is your behavior that creates your results. So if your identity, and this could be because of the family that you grew up in, and it's not could be, it will be. It will be influenced, very largely influenced by the family that you grew up in, by the environment that you grew up in. Think about it this way. A wealthy person who grows up in a wealthy family, then their identity is naturally going to be, I'm a wealthy person, isn't it? If you grew up in lack and scarcity and poverty, your identity is going to naturally be, it's not going to be, oh, I'm incredibly wealthy. That is not going to be a natural identity, because we are a product of our environment. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't become a wealthy person internally. That does not mean that you can't adopt the personality and the identity of a wealthy person and amplify the good that you are here to do in the world. Because money is just a tool. It is just the ability to have agency in your life, to live a better life for yourself and to create a better life for others. It's just a value exchange. That's it. You offer value to the world, and the world responds by giving you something in return. And that value exchange we have set up in our world as money. Now, are the systems corrupt? Yes, they're corrupt. I know, I get it. Are there evil people doing bad things in the world with money? Yes. Are there evil people in the world doing bad things for money? Yes. Yeah, those arguments aren't lost on me. Of course there are. This is a planet of light and dark. That is what we have. That is what we signed up for. That is why we're here at this time, to bring more light to the planet, to do more good in the world. So how are you helping the world by rejecting money if you're the person who's going to bring more light and love and peace and healing and joy and happiness and relief to people's pain and suffering? How is rejecting money helping? It's a great question. And I guess I ask that in a very strange way. And I don't mean to diminish what you're going through, but it's coming to the realization when somebody asks you that question and you realize actually it's not, and you choose to become the embodiment of wealth and being a wealthy person, everything changes. Because from that point, when you start to embody wealth and you decide to become a wealthy person, because wealth is generated as a result of the decisions and the choices that you make. Wealth is generated as a result of the decisions and the choices that you make. So when you decide to be wealthy, when you decide to embody wealth, your behavior changes, your results change. This is not a complicated equation, but it becomes difficult because of the labyrinth of subconscious beliefs that we have. And the vast majority of them are lies. The biggest lie that we were ever told is that we are separate from what we want, that we are separate from anything. We are connected to everything. We are connected to everyone. You are connected and one with the most evil person on the planet. Yeah, they are just the dark side of your light side. That is the nature of our existence here on planet Earth. Stop fighting it. Be more of who you came to be to counter the darkness. Don't fight the darkness. That is folly. That is futile. Stop fighting the darkness. Just be more of the light that you came to be. And if by having more money that can amplify your cause, that can amplify what the impact that you have, then why not do that? Stop pouring your attention into fighting what you see as what's wrong and start pouring more focus and attention into amplifying the good that you can bring to the world. That is how you change the whole freaking world. That's how you change the world. Not by fighting what is, by bringing more of the light, by being more of the light. Money is attracted to congruence. When your identity, beliefs, emotions, and actions align with the value that you are here to bring to the world, wealth stops feeling like something you have to chase and starts becoming something you naturally generate and attract. This is the result of who you choose to be in the world. So it's time to shift your identity, don't you think? Think about how a wealthy person thinks. That's different to the way you think. How does a wealthy person think? Just imagine that you've got 10 million bucks in the bank. How does a person think differently to you who has $10 million in the bank? And I'm not talking about just the self, just about how it benefits you. Sure, it needs to benefit you. Sure, you need to live your best life and give your family the best life ever. I kind of cringe when people say, oh, if I won $1 million and I'd give $999,000 away. Wait a minute. What if you took $500,000, just take $500,000 and invest it in an appreciating asset or a business that offers value to the world and generates more income, so that $1 million or that $500,000 can ultimately be turned into $5 million or $10 million. And then you are giving 10% of the income. And you end up giving more than you would have in the first place and doing more good than you would have in the first place. I'm not saying don't give some money away, but you see what I mean? It's the whole the biblical talent story, where the father gave a talent to each of his 3 sons, and one son went away and buried it, did nothing with it. And I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact story, but another son went and invested it and amplified it. I think it was 2 sons. And the first son who went and buried it, thinking he was protecting this talent, which was the reference for money, his father punished him and said, you lazy, lazy son. And he rewarded the other son for taking that talent and amplifying it and generating more, creating more. It's the same with your talents, your superpowers. So what do wealthy people do differently to you? What are the kind of actions that they take? How do they show up differently? How do they respond to their world and interact with their world? Do they think more in terms of possibility and opportunity than you do? Are they constantly looking for ways to improve their life and ways to actually generate more and more wealth? This is why the wealthy keep getting wealthier. It's because they're always looking for ways to get wealthier. They're looking for ways to utilize the leverage and the agency they already have to generate more wealth. It's the way they're wired. It's not just because there might be evil. And yet we demonize this. And we fail to see what good money and wealth can do in the world. I'm not saying you necessarily, but a lot of the world does. And there's a rising tide of people who are demonizing the wealthy. It's like, how is that helping anyone? Seriously. Yes, there is a big part of it is about deserving. Yes, a big part of it is about deserving. But when you say about being wasteful and just keeping it for yourself, look at money in a different way. Look at the good money does in the world. This is some homework for you, is to go away and look at all the good things money does in the world and all the problems that can be solved with money. Imagine if you became a billionaire. With $1 billion, list all the problems that are happening in the world that you could have a positive influence over, that you could donate to various causes and be able to amplify the impact of these various causes. So this is where it's important, and deserving is a big part of it. I get that. But if you turn that around and go, it's not about me, because it's not about you. It's about the good you can do in the world. Yes, you need to be open to receive. But money is not about self-reward. It's about how you can apply that money and that wealth to be able to create a positive impact and leave the world a better place than how you found it. So let's do, I've spoken for 20 minutes already. Talking. Listen to my vocabulary. Let's do a little bit of a targeted tapping, and just start by tapping on the inside of the eye and repeat after me. I choose to release all negative beliefs about money and how I relate to money. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all negative beliefs about myself in relation to money. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all attachment to negative beliefs from my past that are keeping me financially stuck. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all negative identity beliefs that are blocking my wealth and abundance. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all past conditioning that has stopped me from generating wealth and abundance. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all beliefs about myself that are causing me to reject money and wealth. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all negative conditioning that's stopping me from being wealthy. I destroy, uncreate, and delete all negative beliefs about myself that are stopping me from receiving money in abundance. I choose to know I was born wealthy. I choose to adopt the identity of a wealthy person. I choose to adopt the behaviors of a wealthy person. I choose to focus on becoming a person who generates wealth. I choose to adopt the behaviors of someone with a good wealth consciousness. I choose to adopt the identity of someone who has a great relationship with money. I choose to develop the traits and characteristics of somebody who is wealthy. I choose to develop the traits and characteristics of someone who generates massive wealth. I choose to develop the traits and characteristics and behaviors of someone who is massively wealthy and has a great relationship with money. I choose to know I deserve wealth. I choose to know wealth makes me a better version of me. I choose to know that with my wealth, I will do so much good in the world that it amplifies my goodness. It amplifies the impact that I can have. Because that is who I am at the core of my being. I love donating to good causes. I love being able to support worthy projects. I love being able to support helping more people. That is who I am at the core of my being. And being wealthy and having more money amplifies my ability to help more people, to leave the world a better place than when I found it. Money is not the evil demon that I have made it out to be. Money is just a tool that I can use to amplify the good I am determined to do in the world. So I choose to develop the traits and characteristics of someone who is truly wealthy, of someone who generates more and more value in the world and has a great relationship with money. Because that is who I choose to be. And that is what I choose to do. So as you keep tapping, recognize that wealth is just a consequence of the actions and the behaviors that you take and the beliefs that you have and how you apply those beliefs. So wealth creation is a process. It's a process that is underpinned by the value that you offer the world. You offer value, people reward that value. So, what are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your superpowers? What are you passionate about? What causes break your heart in the world? What impact do you want to have? What are the skills that you've developed? What are the knowledge? What's the knowledge that you've acquired? What expertise do you have? You have all of these things, by the way. You may not have just recognized it yet. Then look at how can you package that up into something that offers value for people in the world, value that people will pay for. Now, you can look later at how you use more leverage and you build more systems and you actually you build a foundation first, and then you use tools and software and all different kinds of things to be able to grow that impact, grow that value that you offer, grow the money that you receive. And that's how companies are founded and grow. They have an idea, they turn it into something that offers great value to the world, that generates more income, which gives them the ability to invest into more leverage, more systems, more infrastructure, more people, and it grows from there. That's how every company is built. So stop underestimating yourself. For goodness sake, stop underestimating yourself. Stop being at war with money. Stop demonizing wealth and wealthy people and focus on being in your lane. What's your lane? Because that's how you help to change the world, not by fighting what is. What is. Darkness has been on this planet since time began. You fighting it, basically, you're just sacrificing yourself to the system. And because you can't fight it, you can't fight it. You can counter it. And the more people, just think about this. Do you think there are more good people or bad people in the world? Do you think there are more good people or bad people in the world? Good, right? There are more good people than there are bad people in the world. So if more good people have more agency, have more control over their life, over their destiny, and the good that they bring to the world, how do you think that's going to play out ultimately? Yeah. The world becomes a better place naturally. So from this point forward, what are you going to do? Just repeat after me while you're tapping. I choose to make wealth non-negotiable. I choose to make building wealth my mission. I choose to normalize wealth in my life. I choose to identify as a wealthy person. I choose to normalize wealth. I choose to make wealth non-negotiable. I choose wealth as part of my destiny. I choose to be abundant and wealthy. I choose to behave like an abundant, wealthy person. I choose to see the world through the eyes of a wealthy person, filled with possibility and opportunity to do good in the world. I choose to know I am unique and have unique value to offer the world. And I choose to be wealthy to be able to facilitate that. Because as a wealthy person, I will do so much good in the world. As a wealthy person, I will help to change the world for the better. As a wealthy person, I will help so many people. Being wealthy is good. Being wealthy helps me to have more impact. So I'm going to normalize wealth. And I'm going to make wealth non-negotiable. And I'm going to normalize being a wealthy person. And I'm going to create the value in the world that will help me to create that wealth. Okay. My work here is done. I would love it if you would comment below. Let me know how this landed for you. Thank you to all of those who have been interacting. Hello, hello. As I keep tapping, I notice that a deeper question begins to emerge. Who am I really, and what is my true perception of myself? Powerful questions. Everybody pay attention. Who am I really? What is my true perception of myself? And at some point, money is no longer the main issue. The focus naturally shifts to my identity, my sense of self, and the fundamental question of who I truly am. That is so true. And I'm going to copy that before I stop today. And actually, I am going to take those quotes because they are very powerful, and I am going to put them in the description. So thank you for offering those perspectives, because that is so true, and that is a powerful shift in your perception. Remember, everything is a story, everything is perception. So question the stories, question the narrative, question the conditioning, question how you see everything in the world, and start to see and ask yourself, is this supporting me in helping make the world a better place? And if it's not, maybe it's time to shift your perception and change your story, don't you think? All right. Thank you for being with me today. I love doing these lives. Bring friends. I'd love to grow this community and the views on these videos. And if you want to join, there's a new initiative that I'm doing. It's called the Wealth Breakthrough Experience. It's like literally a coaching that is free. And I'm going to be doing that next week. So if you want that, the link is in the description below. All you have to do is register for that, the Wealth Breakthrough Experience. I look forward to seeing you on that call, and I will be back here live next week. Go forth, be amazing, do amazing things, become wealthy, and help make the world a much better place. Love you loads. See ya.